welcome back to Charismatic TV. This video is not like a review per se. It's not me critiquing the film. It's just me speaking as a fan what I loved about it, what I appreciate about it. So it's kind of like a fan review a bit, and I'm not giving out spoilers. Like, I'm not adjusting the plot things, even though there's some things in the plot, guys. But like, this is me rambling and just being random. Like, here's somebody else who just loved the movie. There were other like metaphorical things that I would have like loved to talk about, but that would really give it away. So if anybody like cares to hear me talk about that aspect of it a little more like critical literary way, then sure. But right now I'm just talking as a fan who really enjoyed the film. So the movie is I think the movie is something that if you're watching as a fan, somebody who saw the beginning from Iron Man straight down to everything and seen a little, I feel like the movie was created for the ultimate fan experience, and I think the movie did a really good job. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the movie is 3 hours long. It really is, and there are some moments where you're like, it's kind of slow. Like, there were some scenes that you think you could do without, but it's still adds to the overall effect of the film. But because you're a fan, you appreciate everything. You're still glued in to what's happening. And what I love about Marvel now, especially towards the latter films, the comedic timing is awesome. Like, in the beginning, Iron Man, and it's kind of serious. It's not really funny. But I don't know when I can't say when that shit happened. Like, it started getting really funny, and this film was actually, there were laugh out loud moments in it, and every character brings a new element. Not every character, because every character doesn't have that funny way, but you can see, like, we saw Hulk and Thor's humor in Ragnarok. We see Iron Man always has that quirky humor. This movie, we see Captain America getting into that quirky kind of, he has some really good one-liners in this film as well. And then Ant-Man as well, like, the comedic timing with everybody is really good. So it doesn't just feel like you're watching a superhero movie. You're actually watching these people's lives come together and how they interact. Small things are really funny, and there are small things that like are really powerful in the same way. And I think that's what Marvel does, because there's so many scenes that like you'll be like, well, oh my gosh, how did this happen? But then if you watch an old Marvel film from like maybe 2 or like years ago, it'll be like, oh my gosh. So something so small that seems so miniature in like Avengers Age of Ultron is so big no in Endgame, and you're just like, what? So like, I think like the movie was like a really good experience for like a fan, because you just see, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going in any order, I'm just rambling. Like, I just wanted to sit down and talk about the movie, because I could talk about it forever. We were watching on Thursday. I was completely blown away, and especially with like fight scenes or montages, sequences, the score for this movie is so good. What was his name? Alan Silvestri, especially Portals. It's on Spotify, so I was listening to the soundtrack, and the thing was so popular with the soundtrack is like, you're hearing the things, but you can also exactly see everything come together. You can hear the voices talking. The soundtrack, but the score for this movie is really good. And what's really good, the Avengers theme, that Avengers theme from the first movie, that is good in its own. Like, once you hear that song, you know things about to get real, you know something significant is happening. And I like how as a composer he's able to incorporate that into other aspects of work. So like Avengers, there's a piece of the Avengers score in the Portal soundtrack that's very specific. Like, I'm being very rambling right now, but like, it's so good. And other thing that I really like is well, this is the end of like the 21, well now 22 films, and one of the things that I really enjoyed is seeing the character arches, like how characters have developed, like Thor in this, like Thor from the first time we see Thor to Ragnarok to now we see this development, or we see kind of like a degradation of his character in a sense. So it's like, how is he gonna perform now? Cap is the same thing. Like, every character has a kind of like an emotional build up, especially for me specifically, characters that have like the best I don't want to say character arc, but I want to say like character resolution. I feel like Iron Man and Captain America, they had really good character resolutions in this film. Like, you feel kind of whole after you watch this film. You feel a bit more at peace about what happened. Now, when I say that, try not to be like spoil or city over here, but I know a lot of people are unhappy about one of the characters, like how it goes, love you 3000. I'm gonna say that so you know what I mean if you watch it, and then you know what I mean. That aspect of it, I actually didn't feel bad about that, because I feel like it was the only way for him to be at peace with himself. Because we that's one of the biggest things from the time we saw Avengers, the first Avengers, like Avengers Assemble, and then we came into Age of Ultron. From that point, we kind of see that that character has some unresolved issues with himself and taking a weight on himself. I feel like this was the only way where he wouldn't have that kind of pressure or pain on him, because it's something that he dealt with. Like, you could see that resentment that he was dealing with, and this is the only way for him to avoid that. I feel like he would be more at peace knowing that this is how everything turned out. It's just the character development. Like, each character has grown so much. Like, in the beginning of like when Cap's story, he goes in the ice, his story starts with sacrifice and ends with him having a life. And then Tony Stark, his life comes from having a life to ending in sacrifice, being a sacrificial person. Like, that's how things, like the art is different, and then you see people like, and then it's just really good. The character act and the development, I think, was really good. The original six, I mean, you gotta love them. Yeah, I feel like Hulk's story can still, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just babbling about the movie. What else? Like, I don't know. There's so many things about this movie that was really good. Like, I wish I could talk about actual points, but the movie, I feel, for like a fan, you couldn't walk into that theater and not be like, oh my gosh. Like, I was actually upset that I watched the movie with like in the theater that I watched. Like, it's like, I don't know, like, I was the only, there were me, my friend, like the only black people in the theater. It was, and I don't know if it's just maybe all culture, but I feel like as a fan, there were things that happened that you saw that you just couldn't not react. And there were some big scenes, like hold on, okay. Let's just talk about the hammer. Let's say this Thor's hammer, right? Thor's hammer does the thing, goes to the people that you're like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, and everybody was like, I was like, so there was a point where people in the theater were laughing at me, because like I couldn't not react, especially while people were coming together. When you hear the Portals song, what that song represents in the movie, I couldn't just be contained in that moment. And there was a point in the movie where my heart just couldn't stop beating. From that point until the end, my heart was against my chest. Like, I was literally on the edge of my seat, leaning forward, like, and I wish I could say, like, in the trailer, there's a scene where Iron Man, Cap, and Thor are walking. From that scene towards the end, I was completely on the edge of my seat, and my heart was beating out of my chest. I was just, the movie, it was really good. It was really good, and I feel like I'm at peace. I know there are a lot of people who are upset with how things ended, but for me, I can see why everything happened the way it happened, and I feel a bit more at peace. Now, it was a really good film and a really good experience, a fan viewing experience, and I just love how we were able to, how this one movie could kind of take us through everything. And this movie kind of takes us to at least 15 of the 21 films that came before this one, and it just feels so complete. And I feel like I'm glad to know that I was able to be see everything unfold from beginning to end, and the movie just did a really good job. It's just, and it's just so good. I think I would stop rambling now, because I feel like it's really hard to talk about the movie and not talk about character acts, not the character acts, but like talk about, I keep using that word a lot, but it's hard to talk about the movie and not do spoilers or not get really in depth, because there's so many small subtle things that I found to be so powerful because they were so tiny in other movies. Like, I would love to come back and talk about that if you guys care, but I just wanted to like put my thoughts about it and just talk about it online, because it was really good. It was like, I feel as a fan, I feel like it was the perfect like fan experience. If you're just somebody who's just randomly watching, I don't feel like you'd appreciate it. But if you're somebody who's like been watching and been invested, it doesn't matter what time you came, whether you're having the first Iron Man or you came in after Age of Ultron. Like, I feel like once you were really into it, you will appreciate it. If you're somebody who doesn't really, you know, you wouldn't feel it as much as like I did. But it was so good. And I don't want about to think like I'm a perfect fan. Like, I don't know every little detail. Like, I still can't pronounce the name of those. How about the, is it Milnio? It's like MJ something. Like, I'm not perfect in that aspect, but I do love the whole franchise and I talk about it all the time. It's just a really good film. If you're a fan, I feel like you love it. The Russo brothers did an amazing job. The score is great. The actors themselves, it's hard because like, the actors did such a good job. Like, I can't picture anybody else being Captain America, anybody else being Iron Man, anybody. It's like they're irreplaceable. So I'll be very interested to see what happens like in the next 30 years. You know, sometimes they try to reboot these movies, like how there was it's a different universe, but like how there's an old, like Christopher Reeves was a Superman and then now Henry Cavill is Superman. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, if they're gonna take that road or just leave it be. But you know, even Star Wars was redone years afterwards, so it'll be interesting to see how these stories come to life again in the future. And then I don't know, but the movie was very good. It has like a 97% or 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was honestly a really good film. And if you're a fan, how come why haven't you seen it by now? And if you're not a fan, I would say it's gonna be hard for you to enjoy it as much as somebody who has been a part of this world for a long time. But if you really are about that life, I think you will enjoy this movie a lot. So yeah, that's just, I don't want this to be a thing. I just talk about movies afterward, but it's like an unedited rant of just how I felt and how I feel. And yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling right now. I hope you guys enjoy this video or videos like this. If you want to see more or hear more, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts about things you wanted. I feel like by the time I post this video, it'll be okay to talk about spoilers and that kind of thing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. And yeah, until next time, you guys have been watching Charismatic TV. Until next time, peace.